All right, so today we are going to be going over SkySlope templates. So setting up your own templates. This just helps save a lot of time. Make sure you have all the documents that you use. A lot of people, especially when it comes to forms and e-signing, like to have their packet. If you maybe have a file that you just grab and use or print off, this is something that we can do in SkySlope and even do it so that you can kind of fill it out so it looks all nice and neat and typed up beforehand. And so we find that when you have just your template that you're going off of, it really can save you a lot of time, and it feels like you just have that packet that you're grabbing. So in order to do that, we need to get the forms, which we always do first because we want to create that file. So in regards to SkySlope, we have all of those F's with the forms first with your file. And so we're going to go up to apps and we're going to go to forms. So there is a way that we can save a template if we started working, but I'm going to just show you if you just wanted to sit down from scratch and create some templates for your account, how you would do that. So up here to the top, we can see it says files and templates. So we're in the files tab. We're moving over to templates right here. And I can just click create new. When I do that, it gives me the options if I want a buyer, a seller, a landlord, a tenant, or other templates to work off of. And I'm just going to do a buyer template. And then when I select one, I'll be able to do next. And then I would name it. So you can name it whatever you want. I'm just going to say it's my test template, continue. And then it's going to ask me to just bring in some files. So, maybe we wanted, see if there's some agency, exclusive buyer agency. And if you weren't sure if this is the right one, if you just click on it, it's going to open up. And you can be like, oh, yep, this is the one I wanted. Get out of it. And then click add. As soon as I click add, this continue button is going to move. And in order to actually add those forms in, we need to do that. But say if we just wanted another one in there, we can just do, I'll just do RESPA because it's on the top of my head. You'll notice the dash in forms. This shows you what library it's coming out of because we're searching just all libraries for the ease of that. But if I did, say offer, you can see NCR means those North Carolina Realtor forms. And so there's, the two offer to purchase contracts. You can look to see which is the one that we use. There's also this sample one if you just kind of wanted to show a buyer what one looks like. So we're just going to continue. I have two forms. And here we are. So at any point in time, I can add more forms from the library. I'm just going to go back to templates and click on mine. So I can add more forms from the libraries here. I can rearrange with this stack. If I realize I grabbed the wrong form, I can simply delete it over here. And then I can upload documents. So if there's some documents that just you use that aren't in these libraries, you can now upload those documents into this template. And then I can kind of just start scrolling in. Maybe filling out some of this basic information for the template. I don't want would be me. And so just kind of filling out. SkySlope is great because your profile information, if you're starting an actual transaction, that's all going to come in. But we could also just do that here. Say if I always do residential and kind of just come through and set up this template and fill out as much as I can. That's going to stay the same from deal to deal. If I'm all these. And so then when I'm done, once I've gone through all this, I filled this all out as much as what's going to be from the same from the other deal. Then I can just do save template. And at any point in time, I can come back to templates. I can click on them. I can add more forms, get rid of forms, add more stuff. And this is just ever flowing. So if I realize I messed something up, if I realize I wanted something extra, I can come in and do that and just always click save. If you really mess up, I can even come over here and delete. I could change the template type if I messed that up, or duplicate if I wanted to just change it a little bit, like maybe I was doing a buyer template and then I also wanted to do a land one. So some of the forms would be the same, but then other ones would be different. So I could just duplicate and remove and add from there if I wanted to. Template details is just the name if you wanted to change that. So that's how you could create a template from scratch. I'm also going to show you how you can take one from basically with all the company forms that they set up and make that your own template. So any questions on just creating this template from scratch?
Natalie, do you recommend doing it 2 different templates if you're doing, say, North Carolina buyer? I see you have North Carolina buyer agency. So you would have the agency template and then a transaction template as well?
Yeah, so because that's how the company has it set up. So a lot of times you could just use, that one, especially, for agency. So a lot of times when we're creating templates, we're gonna be combining those two. So you have the separate options that the company provided you, and then you can have your own combined option. So, I mean, it's really your personal preference. It's pretty easy to add multiple templates into one file. If you like to keep them distinct and organized that way. But I mean, yeah, really that's up to you if you prefer to have them all together and then you just pick out the agency ones if you're sending that ahead of time. Or you can do agency and then when you're ready, bring in that contract deal.
Wonderful. Up to the user. Gotcha. Thank you.
Yep. Okay, so I'm going to just delete this one and then we're going to go in and I can show you. So that's how we could do a buyer agency and a separate buyer contract form for you. Now we're going to go into files and we're going to grab both the company's 2 templates and kind of combine them and make it our own. So this is the other way you can do templates if you don't want to start from scratch, if you don't have a checklist of forms that you use. So we're going to create new file. So we moved over to files. So we're still in forms. We moved over to files and we're just going to create new file. I'm going to say buyer, but I'm not going to put in a property. I do have to name my file. So Natalie test template. And then we're going to just start with, well, that's mine. Make sure you're not under your templates for that. Brokerage templates. I want to get the forms that the company wants me to use and do create. So it's going to pull into 9 forms. So say I am, maybe I want to do that combined one. So I want working exclusive. I want that RESPA, but we're going to, have a real contract there and just say I was getting rid of like these guys on because I'm going to bring in a real one of that. So what I would do is I would just, delete those. I know which ones I want. And then if I come up here to apply template, oops, I didn't delete this one. I don't want any duplicates. So if I was going to come in here and do apply template, I can now go over to brokerage templates and I'm going to bring in those offer resales and apply. And then give it a second. It's going to let me know when. There we go. Template successfully added. So that is just how you can add multiple templates into one. But then I can kind of just come through here This is the same RESPA one, so I can get rid of that one. And this is a sample, so I can get rid of that one. So I have my professional. I have a duplicate, home warranty one. Here we go. So now this is looking good. Maybe I'm walking them through this, or I already sent them these or something. But say this is my packet here. So I kind of looked through what forms the company provided me because I didn't want to start from scratch. Then I do the one that I do in my packet. And once, I start clicking, it's going to fill in send. I can always upload the documents here or add more forms from the library for this template. And then here we go. So I have add forms. I can add more forms in. I can rearrange them. I can delete any. And now I can just start clicking through and just saying like, this is typically how I fill this out, because again, with your template, you'll be able to edit the template per deal. But I'm just, gonna walk through and see all this stuff is now kind of filled out since I started doing it via a file. That's kind of why I prefer to do it this way rather than starting from scratch. Just saves you some time. But say if I was just, clicking through all the stuff that stays the same from deal to deal, I could go through all of these and then I can do right down here, it says save as template. So again, when I made that file, I didn't put in a client name. I didn't put in a property. I just named the file because you need to name the file. But that way I know I can save this as a template. Here we go. And I'm going to do, so this is my, buyer template. And I'm going to do save and view template. Here we are. This looks good because I want to then add the template type. So at any point in time, I can go into templates, add template type, and I'm going to say this is my buyer. That way, when I put a buyer file, it's going to pop up. And so that's how I can do my template there. If I go back into files, then I can say, okay, this was only needed to create this template. And now in the future, any edits I'm doing to the template, I'm going to go into template. But that kind of just saves you time. You can grab and use the company templates to kind of pick and choose from there, but have a good starting point. And then also because you're starting a file, it's going to auto pull in your profile information. Whereas you saw when we created a template, it didn't do that. So that's kind of my preferred way to do templates. But if you wanted to start from scratch, you could. So any questions on that? Any kind of wanting to talk through maybe what templates you would create or anything like that?
One recommendation I have, Natalie, on templates, even going back to zip forms, is when somebody creates like a North Carolina buyer template, I recommend they put like NC buyer template, June 2022, just so they know when they created it. So when, new documents come out, they know, that would need to be updated.
Yeah, I love that. That's putting the date in is definitely huge. And the great thing with SkySlope on that is it's mainly, thinking through to go and change in your template. But if I'm doing a file, I don't think any of these will show, but if I started doing a file over here with SkySlope, this paper mark, if there was an outdated file in here, it's going to show an exclamation point right here. And when you go to the file, it would across the top say this needs updating. So just always kind of thinking of your template of, oh, if there's this new file, continue do your thing, but maybe just put a note to come back and make sure that you update that template. That's a great point, Matt.
Awesome.
And then, yeah, having that date, it's always helpful to know when you start it, and definitely separating north and south if you use both. And again, forms is all you as the agent, how you want to arrange it, what makes sense to you, what's gonna, what triggers you. So you name things how you want, organize it how you want, make as many templates as you want. Forms is all in your court in regards to how you set it up, how you organize it, how you name it. All right, any other comments on this or tips?
Come to mind.
All right, I will, and I'll have this recorded as well. So if you want it, just let me know. Oops, sorry, Adriana, did you unmute? Okay, I guess I wasn't looking. Okay, yeah, and I am here, call, text. If you want to just walk through with me and set up your own templates, we can do that as well. Just let me know.
Wonderful, thank you.
All right, everyone, have a great rest of your Monday.